Hello, today I'm going to talk to you about the Power Up writing process. The Power Up writing process was kind of revised and created by Lawrence School teachers many years ago to kind of come up with a plan for the writing process. What are the steps of the writing process? So what Power Up stands for is prepare, organize, write, edit, revise, understand, and publish. So what you do at the prepare stage is you come up with an idea. What is the assignment? What do I have to write about? And start to brainstorm ideas, gather facts, collect research, figure out who you're writing for, what's your kind of thesis statement or main topic sentence. And you have to ask yourself the question, do I have enough information to write something about? Okay. The organized step of the Power Up is things like categorizing, taking all the information you collect and kind of putting it into groups of different types of information. Do I have enough information in each category? Coming up with your writing plan and revising your thesis statement or your main topic for your writing assignment. And ask yourself, am I ready to start to write? So these two first steps of Power Up, the prepare and organize, we call this the pre-writing stage of writing. So you're kind of preparing your brain and your thoughts and your ideas so that when you sit down and you're ready to write, you have enough information to write. You don't want to have to organize and collect facts while you're writing. You want to do that ahead of time. Okay, and this is actually a really important step to do the idea generation. And this is the part where you're gonna go and collect facts on Google and different books online or articles or magazines or encyclopedias and collect your information. The writing phase of this is taking these ideas and actually writing sentences and paragraphs for this. And you're asking yourself at this stage, did I write my ideas down? So for this, you're literally just writing. Whether you're handwriting, you're typing, or you're using dictation, you are just writing. You're not doing research, that comes before, and you're also not editing or revising. Sometime during this stage, I also like to encourage students to turn off their grammar checks. Turn off Grammarly, turn off spell check, because kind of that slows you down while you're writing. The goal is to get your ideas down on paper as quickly as you can. And try, you could have an outline next to you or your facts next to you, but just write. The next two things are the edit and revise. And they sound similar, but they're actually very different. The edit phase, you're going to check for the mechanics and grammar and make changes in your writing, what you had written in the write stage. And you're going to self-edit. So you're going to fix all the things, the problems. So misspellings, periods, capitalization. Maybe you're going to move some sentences around. Maybe you're going to add a few more things. So you're going to put in your citations. So this is where you're going to check for mechanical issues. And ask yourself, does my writing look good? So turn on your grammar checkers, run Grammarly, run Checkit to see if there's any mechanical issues. Okay, and this is an important stage. But notice you don't do this while you're writing because that will slow you down. The revise stage is a slightly different. What you're doing at the revise stage is you are going to check for logic and readability and clarity. Clarity means, are you being clear? Is it easy to understand? You're going to check your flow and structure. Like, do you have enough paragraphs, or do you have enough sentences in each paragraph? Is your topic sentence first in each paragraph? Do you have an intro and a conclusion? And do you make sense? So ask yourself, does my writing make sense? Does it sound good? Okay, it's different from looking good. But does this make sense? Do I have enough information? Did I make a clear argument? did I tell all the details I needed to tell? So if you didn't, go and fix those things during the revision stage. The understand stage is basically reflecting on what you've written and edited and revised. So maybe this is just checking against a rubric the teacher might have to see, did I include everything I needed to include? Is my name at the top? Is my title bold and it's centered? Do I have, is it double spaced? Is it a certain font? Like all those things may come into play in your grade. So check your rubric to see if you've met all those things. And ask yourself, does my writing answer all the essential questions of the assignment? So if you wrote something great, but you didn't put all the required elements in, you're going to lose points. So make sure you look at the rubric and grade yourself to see how you think you did. Publish. The last stage is, did I follow all the formatting guidelines? Did I submit it in the appropriate delivery system? So did I print it out? Did I send it to email? Did I turn it in on Google Classroom? Did I submit it to turnitin.com? Each teacher might have a slightly different system for that, but usually it's going to be Google Classroom. But follow your rubric, follow the assignment, turn it in, and ask yourself, is this the best it can be? And if it is, turn it in. Don't perseverate over it and keep going over it if you think you're really done. Turn it in. On the power up stages, notice there's no part of this that you have to go to a teacher. These are all things you could do yourself while you're writing, okay? Now, another thing I want to point out to you is these tools for each of these sections. And this is kind of the tech part of this. So for instance, on the prepare and organize stages, I can use tools like Inspiration or MindMap or MindMeister or other kind of concept mapping tools. You could even use Google Drawing. You could also use the Read and Write for Google highlighters to collect information from the internet. You could also use citation tools like BibMe, RefMe, even the Google citation tools. When you're writing on the write stage, notice what tools you can use. You can type. You can use Google Voice Typing. You can use word prediction. And you could also just use a word processor like Google Docs or Microsoft Word, whatever you're used to doing. On your edit stage, you could use tools like grammar and spell checks, like Read and Write for Google's Check It, Grammarly, Google Spell Check, Microsoft Spell Check, and there's even the Criterion Writing Evaluation Service. There's a lot of different grammar and spell checkers out there. What I always recommend is use at least 2 of these to make sure that all of your errors were kind of found, because not one does a good 100% job. On the revise stage, where you're checking to see if you make sense, one of the best tools you could use is to listen to what you've written. So listen to it with the Read and Write reading tools or Microsoft narration tools or Immersive Reader to listen to what you read, because that is actually really important. Listening back to what you've written with a tool like Read and Write for Google is not going to automatically correct it for you. Your eyes will lie to you, but your ears will not. So if you listen to it, you're going to hear if things sound good or hear mistakes. Maybe you used the wrong word and it's spelled correctly, but it's the wrong word. You'll hear those things when you listen. So make sure you're listening to everything you wrote. You could also use the MEAL strategy, and this is an acronym. It stands for Main Idea, Evidence, and Analysis, and Lead Out. So each of those letters, words start with make MEAL. And what this means is, does every paragraph have a topic sentence saying what the paragraph's about? Do you have at least 3 facts supporting that idea, and with analysis explaining why those facts are important? And then you always have a conclusion sentence. So these are your kind of making sure you have kind of those like at least 5 sentences per paragraph. Maybe more, maybe a few less sometimes, but like around 5 sentences per paragraph, and making sure they're in the right order. It's like a formula, but for writing. For the understand stage, you're going to use the rubrics from your teachers to grade yourself. And then the last one is publishing, where you're going to actually use a printer, upload it to Google Classroom, or turn it in, or email it to your teacher. So pretty simple tools. Your teacher is going to share this with you in class, but that is basically what the Power Up writing process with technology tools is all about.